Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to another Cow Daily. Today we're going to talk about. It's a little bit of a football thread, but no daft. It's not going to be all football. And as you know, we'll be talking about football, but it'll have some kind of wider, grander point to it all, as usual. I'm just going to stick the tea break music on. Try something else today. 2 seconds, right? What we got? Lo-fi. Let's do that while everybody arrives. Let me know if you're about in the comments. It's tea break time. I'm not really keen on this one, actually. I want to go back to the original Bad Lad here. Acoustic Cinema, it's called. Just have that while we're have an early tea break. Bit of a mare today, actually. One of the files was corrupt, so I've had to redo a lot of work, which I did in the middle of the night last night because I've slept terribly. My partner's away, and I was the same the first couple of days. It's very unsettling, as you can imagine. Also, my 2 little dogs aren't here, just the big one. It's me and the big one. Lemon bomb with the mint tea bag in there at the minute, crossing the beams again, playing with fire in the universe of herbal tea. So we're going to talk about Newcastle United, who qualified for the Champions League last night. It's not about that, kind of. My boyhood club. And also got some guests coming on next week to talk about just that. Right, well, I've had enough of that. Who's about? Who's in the comments? There we're gone. Joanne's a boot. Nice to see you, pal. We're over here. Jojo again. Nice to see you, my friend. Who else? Oh, what's this? Joanne's saying Bob Gray and I were waiting on the sports washing one. Wait no longer. I'll tell you when it's going to be in a bit. Mon Jacqueline, nice to see you. Mon Leon, also Zoe as well, who's about. Got Carlos in. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Joanne, we're not actually having the guests on today. I'm just going to do a bit of a preamble about the whole Saudi ownership of the tune because I just have to. And to be honest, I just haven't had the energy for it when I've been ill. And I thought it would drag us back because actually I'm getting into it now. I'll chat about it in a bit. It's a very sort of Geordie centric thing in terms of how it feels. So I want to try and describe how it feels as well. Also, we're going to talk about racism in football. There's a particularly bad thing going on in Spain at the minute, which is just mind blown. We were confused with the date, thought you'd lost it. I have not lost it, I can say. And there is an event page freely available publicly now on your Facebook. So right back at you. Lawn to read. I'll see you next Tuesday, because I think that's when it is. Read. If you want to help with it, please share the stream. That would be very much appreciated. Also, if you're here and you could like the video wherever you are, it helps with the algorithm. That's cool. Also, if you want to directly and financially support our work, you can go to patreon.com/cowdaily, patreon.com/cowdaily. Also, there's a link in the description for PayPal where you can make a one-off donation to our work, keeping the show on the road. Nice one. Another comment there. Is there hellos to be had? It's just Joanne laughing. Hello, everybody who hasn't commented as well. All the best to everybody. Right, hold on a minute. I need to get rid of this banner. Oh, man. Just quick drink, 2 seconds. So Scrappy's away, getting his treatment. Partner's away, doing all these things. It's just a bad old time, isn't it? As I said yesterday, the devil makes work for idle hands. And I'm trying to do positive work. Because I just start thinking about, right, who can I have a pop at now? People who maybe need to have a pop had at them, but I need to just sort that out a little bit. I think partner goes away, I get bored and start kicking off with people. Old school grievances. Yee. It's just fucking mad, man. It's I'm not even going to get into that, actually. Right. Here's some things. This is from Dr. Jonathan N. Steer or Stay. I don't know how to pronounce that. Criticism of ideas can feel personal for those who have over-identified with their positions. Why have I included this? Well, growing up as a Newcastle United supporter, I know how much of an utter cult it is, right? So I am somewhat concerned about the content that we're about to start putting out. But for me, there's no what else I can do, but it really is poking the bloody bear if you're from the tune. Um, generally, honestly, if some of these things go like viral, some of the shorts and that will make, I really will have to watch what I'm doing walking through the city. But see me, I walk like a god through that city. But there's now you can do if somebody punches you from behind, your jaw is the same off switch front and back. So it's a concern because it's a violent place. Most people are full of shit though, when it comes to that. Anyway, just a little promotion. Tuesday, 30th of May, that's actually should say 10 a.m. Newcastle United against Sports Washing, usual time, so next Tuesday. I think what we're going to do going forward is, at least for the next few weeks, is have like 2 guests in the same week. So we'll be putting another guest in, and I'm favouring sort of the Tuesdays and the Thursdays, Mondays to start the week off, having a bit crack with yous, and Friday to end the week doing much the same. But now that I'm better, I can start committing to these dates and getting people in. So Newcastle United against Sports Washing, finally we've got that in the diary for next Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. So get yourselves along. Also, if you could tell people about it and that it's happening, it is an event page, so you can click attend and all of that, and you'll get a notification. 2, also get people along who disagree with Newcastle United against Sports Washing. It's meant to be an open dialogue, and you'll see what I mean as we go on, because I've tried to establish that with some other people as well. Again, this is something that I think has wider implications, like on a global politics level, but we'll save some of that depth for another day. So this is from NUFC Fans Against Sports Washing. That's at No Saudi Tune on Twitter. And this is from last night. So Sports Washing: when a minister of a bloody dictatorship gets to clown around on our pitch and media says nout. Al Rumayyan is not just any Saudi businessman. He is the technocrat given the responsibility of putting MBS's vision into practice. Here he is. Yeah, honestly, man, like, he's, for audio people, he's running about on my pitch. Well, St. James's Park. I don't even know where I am with all that anymore. It's really conflicting. But I will be talking to some of these guests that we've got coming on about that, so I'm not going to do that. He's running about with these black and white striped lined suit jacket, which probably cost more than one of the workers that exploits houses. And it's like, just listen, when we do a deep dive into who these people really are, there'll still be loads of people who'll go raj at work. Absolutely raj. But you know what it is? You've got to get to a point in life where you just have to stop caring. People will look at that and be like, oh, there's my king running around. Honestly, some of the cringe, but I'm getting too into the weeds, saving it all for next week. Also, additionally, on one of the Sports Washing threads, Newcastle against Sports Washing, there's a lad who's a presenter on the Black and White FPL podcast. It's at OxJX Miller. He's one of the hosts. I've invited him on as well because he showed some oppositional comments last night. Obviously, he was high on the win or the draw that got them into the Champions League. And he was like, it's not true about, because I'd say to him, like, look, you know, the Saudis are literally executing children. And he was like, oh, well, that's not true. It's a load of crap. So evidence was provided, and to his credit, he went, oh, I didn't actually know that. So I went, oh, nice one. Well, why didn't you not come on? We'll have a dialogue. So that lad's going to come on. I haven't got a date yet. We're talking before we went live. Yeah, so I'd come back to him after the show. So look out for that one as well. He's also doing a charity MMA event, just as an aside. So I'm going to help him promote that as well. Fair play to the kid. Seems like a decent lad, 21-year-old young lad. Good on him, man. Do you know what I mean? He's supporting his club. He doesn't really know about any of the rest of it. And we've got to be careful about, like, we would never do this, right? Putting everybody into one big monolith. And that should never happen to Newcastle fans either. again, there was stuff that I was going to go into there, and I really think I should just save it for these shows. So big this lad up at OxJXMiller on Twitter. Seems a reason. Like, you can't say fairer than that. If somebody has an opinion, evidence is presented to the contrary, and then they go, fair one. That is how everybody should be. So this is why I want to actually talk to the lad. We've got oppositional opinions, but I actually think we can have a dialogue without calling each other dafties and stuff, you know? I mean, obviously, I'm sure we're both reserved the right to do that, like, but only if the other person's acting a twat, and I'm not coming into it like that. So be interesting conversation to have with the lad. But I'm massively concerned because I'm just about. It feels like I'm about to make myself out to be like the Lord Haw-Haw of Tyneside or something. For people who don't know, Lord Haw-Haw was the traitor who went. It was a fascist, part of Oswald Mosley's British Union of Fascists, and he went over to Germany during the Nazi era. And it says here in the caption of one of these images on screen, "This is not big-hearted Arthur, nor is it an old stinker. Oh no, it's the donkey that's braying from Hamburg. Lord Haw-Haw, hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw." His name was William Joyce. I've got a mad story about this guy. This is the craziest, right? Check this out. I was like teenager, so I would have been at Gateshead College, right, studying IT. When at the time it was like everybody was like, "You got to study computers, like, because you just be left behind if you don't." Turns out, 20 odd years later, the people who studied IT are not earning anywhere close to the lads that were doing plumbing. There's a cautionary tale, but anyway, William Joyce, Lord Haw-Haw. I was at Gateshead College, and there was a lad, right, literally looked like Hitler's dream, full on Aryan blonde, all of that. We got on, we're in the same class doing IT. He'd done something a bit like dodgy, so I just randomly said to him, "Oh, you look at you, man, you traitor, Lord Haw-Haw, you," like, just not even thinking about it. I'd probably learned about it at GCSEs, which I'd done like a few years earlier. And then he looks at us all weird. I was like, "What's the matter? It's just a bit crack. What's the matter with you?" We're teenage lads, we're just having a bit crack. He says, "How do you know?" I said, "What? How do you know?" "Know what?" Because I didn't know this lad were like the first two. I only lasted a term there. I was dotting around college courses like Gateshead College, Newcastle, apprenticeships at Access Training, just all kinds of shit that I didn't stick in with. And so he goes, "How do you know?" "What?" "That he was me granddad." "What? Who?" "William Joyce." "What's your surname?" "My surname is Joyce." Seriously, right? William Joyce went in the 1930s and settled for a bit in the northeast of England. I found all this out after the fact. And he was with Mosley in the British Union of Fascists doing speeches around Tyneside. So he's obviously been sown his wild oats. And this was, how mad is that, man? Calling somebody, and I did have a clue at the time that he had links to the area. Grandson of William Joyce. Crazy. And honestly, right, check him. Have a look at him. One on the right there, on the left, sorry, double of him. His grandson, absolute spitting double of him. I just didn't even know how to take that at the time. It was mad. Mad. And I honestly understand if you don't think that story's real. I promise you it's real. Crazy, innit? So anyway, I'm worried about being Lord Haw-Haw. Because look, Newcastle United, people who are from the area, they know. But people are like, "Oh, well, why is Newcastle different to other clubs and all that?" And I know people love their clubs, but it's an absolute religion. Like, the stadium sits on a hill, like in the middle of the city, and you can see it for miles around. See it from the depths of Gateshead, or you can see it from the house, like the back step where I grew up. You can see it for like it's just this thing, this cathedral. It's the real cathedral. It's not St. Nicholas's Cathedral. It's St. James's Park. And the people have like mixed the ownership up with the club, and they did that with Ashley too. And it's going to be a hard one to do. It's not just a hard one to do, but like boyhood club like me as a child, or even like as a teenager, or my early 20s, and into my 30s as well. I was going to away games, all kinds. So it's really hard to talk about this stuff, like, but we've got to, because it's an absolute blight on the city, like, sadly. So what else have we got lined up for you? Dr. Deepti Gurdasani, epidemiologist, will be talking navigating the pandemic in 2023. I just don't think it's being talked about enough about what the state of play is, but also what we can practically do to safely navigate this. I've asked Deepti on for a couple of reasons. One, and I'll be telling her this too. During the lockdowns, my partner and I, we would watch Novara Media. And she was a regular guest on Novara Media, and she was just incredibly good at helping us navigate that time. So it's a real honor that she would agree to come and talk to her. And the second thing is shout to the clinically vulnerable people who are in the chat and elsewhere listening to this on the playback. Constantly always going to try and get something on the table for discussion around the issues that you are facing. It's one of the most morally reprehensible things I can possibly think of, to just forget about people. And I don't care if people think I'm a stuck record or parrot. Tell you what's a stuck record, being stuck in a house every day. And I know this only too well from recovering from spinal surgery and also from whatever mad viral shit was going on after that. And not a chance. It's really, really strange that people would do that. So it's tomorrow, and it's a later time. It's at 11 a.m. I know it says 12 on there, but it's not. So 11 a.m. tomorrow. Deeply's in Australia now. She'll obviously tell you a bit more about why. So we're just trying to get the sort of things to line up, and she need to get childcare sorted. So that's why it's a bit of it's an hour later on, 11 o'clock. Really looking forward to that one. Should be really informative, and you know, the dealings that I had were private messaging. What a lovely person. Really nice. So look forward to that one. See what you're saying in the comments before we're going on. Right, some people in. Just say hello to Slaz is in. Slaz is saying YouTube not on. Yes, it is. I've got the tick up in the screen over the YouTube. Let us know if there's a problem with the YouTube. Maybe this is just a bit of a lag for you, Slaz. I don't know. 2 seconds. Oh man, sorry, my screens went all mad again. There we go, and it's back. Oh my god, I'm really tired today. Like, as I say, I don't really sleep very well initially when my partner's away. Anyway, morning was nice to see you. Carlos is saying, honorable mention of Mr. Abramovich. Seriously, right? I found out some information last night, which I'm saving for Tuesday. But it's just, I mean, I'd be very, very, very surprised if they don't go the way of Abramovich. But a lot of it's about the moving parts with like BRICS Plus. But bloody one magpie's just landed on the thing over there. It's a bad omen, the magpies. Maybe it's like some kind of mechanical Saudi magpie where the new tech where they're coming to tell us off. We've got some mad laser shooting from the eyes. Shut up, heretic. Yeah, so anyway, Carlos, I think it's probably going to go that way, but wait for detail. We'll be back with that on Tuesday. Bob Grady, nice to see you, man. Found it. My inner Luddite shines bright. Come on, Bob, up the Luddites. Emily's in. Nice to see you, pal. Bit of a gutter about Wembley for the Heat, but never mind, pal. Tony Banks used to say he couldn't see the blood on the pitch when he went to watch Chelsea. Not surprising. Right, Jacqueline is saying everyone talks about how much the football players get paid, but no one talks about how much the workers who produce all the football merch get paid. Are they well paid or exploited? Exploited. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, Wad Snide popping up in the chat yesterday, the lad who lives in China and like is deep in the Snide game over there. For people outside the Northeast, Snides mean like counterfeit, you know. And what they did over there, they moved the factory from China, that's Nike, by the way, to another country where they exploit workers further and have more of a profit margin. So yes, it definitely, I would suggest that the nimble fingers of children are putting those stitches in. So anyway, Joanne's saying, minimum wage for a lot. I'd say Jacqueline, indeed. Right, hold on a minute, what's going on? Emily's saying, watching on Facebook today and able to see and make comments. Nice one, man. That's cool. And as I said, recently, we can look to get monetized on Facebook now as well, because they seem to reel their neck in, hopefully. So watch it wherever you like. But we are so close, like 150 watch hours from being monetized on YouTube. So if you just want to help out and run some videos, like where like that would be properly helpful. Because we're so close, man. It's mad. Zoe's saying, love deeply. Her tweets helped me get through the past few years. I'm chuffed, man, because you were one of the people I was thinking about. So it's really nice that it's like come to life in our world as well, and deeply will be in it? So I'm really chuffed about that, mate. Nice one. Oh, sound. So Emily's saying, oh, do you get captions live on Facebook like today? That's pretty cool, man. Nice, like it. Ashley's saying, hello, Ashley, as well, by the way. Nice to see you. Watch on YouTube. Cool. All right, I see. So we're here on YouTube now, but we found the right stream. Because there's I've lined a few up for these shows that are coming tomorrow and on Tuesday. So having a bit of trouble here reading the day, pet. Emily's saying from the Heed, Wembley was wonderful. There or not, the trains were not. Most people overcame it because of love for the Heed. Proud me. Nice one. Emily, I don't know if you got on it, but the show yesterday was in part about the travel chaos of Gateshead supporters, obviously talking about what LNAR are doing and what they're not doing. So what else do we have on these? This is from the Vertlarknik, which is the takeoff of the Atlantic, and it normally like uses satire to rip it out to like COVID denial, but it applies just the same to the tune. It is morally wrong for you to try to make me feel bad about the bad thing I like doing. We'll just leave it at that. That's the mentality. Also, shout to the real boss Kane, who posted this on Instagram, which I think's class. It's a takeoff of the old anti-Nazi League logo, and it's got anti-Nazi League, as in National Conservatives. It's obviously a takeoff from that mad fash thing that Rees Mogg and his pals were at recently. So big that up. Somebody was saying I'd really like a t-shirt of that, and I thought, oh, we could knock them out, but like, it's not really our place to do. It's not our design. Boss Kane, if you're listening, did you design it? If not, where'd you get the design from? Because be happy to knock something up, because we could put like some of the profits towards like fucking anti-fascism or something. I don't know. Up to yourself what you want to do. Again, going on it if you want, but I think they're mint. I honestly just want to wear one. I'm not really that arsed about like selling them or out like that. I just think they're fucking cool. This kind of shit, right, is popping up, and I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive into like the cosmic right memes and things like that, because with algorithms, like if you're not like seeing this stuff unless you're engaging with it. A lot of people have done that block and delete thing, which like, well, I only do that with abusive people. And what you're not seeing as a result of that is these type of things. So for audio people, fact in bold, climate change is just a natural phenomenon that has been going on since the earth first formed. Oh God, man. And we can easily adapt to it, just like humans have been adapting since caveman days, but it has been exaggerated and exploited by people with financial or emotional investments in it. What if this is all about money and power and not the common good? Well, I'm sure there's probably, like, in fact, I'm absolutely certain somebody somewhere is trying to make some money on, like, off the back of climate change. It's just like, it's a capitalist society, fucking newsflash. But at the same time, this is absolute cod shit, and it's still lived on Facebook. Like, look, we're at a point now where like misinformation is just an absolute plague, and we've got people like Bannon and whatever setting out to use climate change as one of the wedge issues to wind people up. The other ones, drag time, story hour, and other things like that. So this stuff just needs to get in the fucking bin. It's just bollocks, and all it's doing is like simping for like some of the worst people on the planet. Like, I haven't included the guys like details because it's not important who's posting this stuff. I just wanted to show the stuff. I'm not trying to mug off individuals unless they're having a pop at me, you know. But this stuff, man, fuck off, man, will you? Like, it's so utterly incorrect, and it's so riddled with like unable to accept reality that people will just tell themselves some mad story or allow themselves to have a story told to them by some rotters who are just one faction of the establishment. Absolutely mad. The Koch brothers, one of them dead, will be clapping their hands. Not the dead one, though. Stay dead. So why have I put the Spanish translation for monkey? My brain froze there. That's lack of sleep, isn't it? Well, I need a drink of tea. So we're going to have a little tea break. The sitars do play and the teas coat the throat. As I say, I'm still not well, so I'm having to like coat the throat. That actually feels relaxing. I'm just sitting here with my eyes shut. That's nice. It's a mad one, isn't it? Like, we don't take like time in the day to just sit. I don't meditate at all actually anymore. Just not at all. I mean, that's something we should do in this. But then again, we'd just be like fucking cosplaying as like Russell Brand. Come on, guys, meditate with me. It's got nothing to do with my messianic complex. Come on. Anyway, get yourself away, Ravi Shankar. What we got? Right, Spanish translation of monkey. Why? Honestly, check out what's going on over there at the minute. Crazy like a horse. Bear with us. I'll just pull this up for you. Right, so there's a few I'm going to just like go through for you just so you get the vibe. This one is when Real Madrid played Valencia, and it's directed at a player for Madrid called Vinicius Jr. I'll give you a bit of the background as to where this is rooted in the city of Valencia and how this happened, but check this. Right, so what they're singing there is Vinicius Mono, like, which basically is Vinicius Monkey, as we've seen. Just what the fuck, man? Like, look, I mean, we're not going to do a massively deep dive into the ultras scene, but we'll do a little bit in a minute. I'll get through some of these videos, but these just make us fucking feel sick, man. Like, legit sick to the pit of my stomach. Here's another one. I'm really pleased that somebody in the crowd took this because obviously we couldn't show the actual La Liga footage, and you'll find out why. And well, obviously it's copyright, but there's other reasons too. I'll just check this is on the screen for you. It certainly is. I need a second monitor, me. When we're settled in one place, it's one of the first things I want to do. Look at this shit, man. What he's doing is he's pointing out the person who did it, like a monkey gesture at him. There's all the ultras running over, which we'll introduce in a moment. Absolutely painful. It should shame people that. Absolutely disgusting. This one arguably is the worst. This is the ultras that I was talking about. Check this absolute pack of rats out, man. Now they are singing it again, a different time. This was happening, right, throughout the day. Straight up monkey chant, racism, doing the whole like sort of dancing. Just fuck you. Nah. Hell to the nah. Nah. And I mean, why am I bringing up stuff that's happening in Spain? Well, it's about structural racism, which, like, you know, I am a world citizen, and the La Liga president actually asked the player to apologize to the fan. So then you had Ancelotti, the Madrid manager, who was brilliant, by the way, who just refused to answer questions about the game and just went off supporting his player. Not just his player, supporting a human being, because that's what the lad is. There was people saying, oh, like, you know, the player, he brings it on himself. There's literally not one thing, as Jurgen Klopp said in an interview last night, not one thing a human being could do on the pitch which would be a justification in any way for that behavior en masse too. So, I mean, as we know, in Italy, Spain, ultra groups tend to be on political lines. Sometimes bigger clubs have like a left wing and a right wing firm, and they'll battle it out for supremacy. So anyway, in Valencia, the firm is this, and as you can see on the screen, it's got a little bit of that like sort of like fash stuff going on about it. It's because they are the fash. Apologies for a little bit of I mean, this is translated from what I'm about to read from Spanish Wikipedia. So Ultra Yomos is an ultra group of the Valencia Football Club of Spain, founded in 1983. That has 300 members. Though in the beginning, the group was apolitical and plural. Today, ideologically, they're considered a fascist ideology and Spanish nationalist with a strong anti-Semitic and anti-Catalanist component. That's obviously against people of Catalonia because they were wanting independence. So I would imagine Barcelona versus Valencia is a spicy encounter. The group has starred in several violent episodes. Several of its members have been reported to the police and have a criminal record for assault. Wouldn't be surprised if some of them are busy, to be honest. So yeah, reason I'm bringing this up is like, you know, we talk about this a lot on the show, like global fascism. And in these times, I mean, I just don't even think, like, I'm not trying to call it out, like, you know, that's been done. I don't even know what I'm trying to do, but I'm just absolutely disgusted with it. And I just wanted you to know, like, because, you know, I appreciate, like, some people who tune into this, that they're not football fans. So this is why I want to talk about football-related topics for you as well, but also to bring other people in so they'll get on why fascism's bad, okay? Because it is bad, man. We shouldn't do it. Well, I don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. Hello, fascists. But like, as I say, the ultra scene, we've talked about it quite a bit. If you want to know more about how it intersects with why the Italian Prime Minister, Meloni, is where she is, you can go back on the channel and there's a whole thing which is about the Irreducibili, which is the Lazio Ultras, and the connections via the far right to somebody who is an actual fascist leader of a country. So you see why these things can, like, because, you know, ultra groups are supporters groups, but they're also generally politically aligned too. The Irreducibili are very far right. They connect with Chelsea, which connects with Linfield in Northern Ireland, which connects with Glasgow Rangers. Lazio also have a connection with West Ham, obviously by the Di Canio thing as well, but also because of fascism. They have a fascist element to their support. So this is why we need to talk about this stuff proper, because this can shift and move elections. Because look, if you're a young lad and you're on the terraces and you see this like ultras group, it looks cool. You want to be part of that. And quite often, the course of somebody's life is predicated on the politics of that ultra group, because people like to fit in. You know, as we've seen, a completely different thing, unconnected to fascism. Also, a lot of the Newcastle support would think, because they don't really see why the Wahhabist version of Islam, which the Saudi House of Saud rule the country using, is a fascist ideology. So that's why all of these things are intertwined. Fascism is something that is seemingly popular around the world, and it's grossly interconnected by people who seek to connect it, whereas the left, not so much. So what you're getting is like teams of proficient street fighters, which has always been the case, but now in the era of MMA, like, people are getting trained very well. So what I would suggest, I've said before, people on the left need to really like dead out just doing the politics thing and start learning to fight, because the globalized fash have been doing that for the last 15 years and they're much better at it. So just keep an eye out for these things. Football for me is quite often a canary in the coal mine of how society is going. simply because people, when they get together in big groups, get emboldened and also go along with crowd mentality too. But these spaces can be used for good also. I mean, during the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War, people in Barcelona were obviously targeted by Franco because it was one of the main ports of resistance. So the stadium, the Nou Camp Barcelona Stadium, was one of the only places where they could speak Catalan, chant in Catalan, and show dissent against Franco's fascist regime. So within places where they've had like revolutionary moments or things of that nature, there tends to be a lot of identity wrapped around their football clubs. And it's one of the reasons why Barcelona versus Real Madrid is on a par with Rangers Celtic, because of the political element to it. Not so much religious, obviously, because it's all Roman Catholicism in Spain, but certainly from the left versus right perspective. So there you go. That's why we're talking about it. Right. One more thing I want to show you, which is something that the BBC have brought together. And interesting your thoughts on it. But before we do, take some of your comments just on what we've been talking about so far. Carlos is saying, check out the links between the ultra far right and support from a certain fascist leadership attempt to invade a neighboring nation. These links also appear to extend much closer to home than many would dare realize. Are you talking about Putin? If you are, I'll proceed on that basis. You were quite correct. Do you remember the Euros when the England fans got the arses handed to them by like well-drilled 200 ultras? Putin green-lighted the season before that all the best fighters from all the different clubs, like CSK Moscow, and like having a battle to see who the best were, and sent them there. And what it was a longer term plan. It's about positioning like the hardness of Russians in people's mind, and he was doing that then. So the supposed kings of hooliganism were England, but majority of them don't know how to like fight. It's windmilling and it's just looking hard on a stone island. These come all in black and just clean people out because they're like MMA fighters. So you had 200 of Russia's best fighters specifically sent there. And do you know Putin sent a plane for them? A plane via the Minister of Sport, who was connected to them, and the Minister of Sport was directing them. So you're quite right to bring that up, Carlos. It's like absolutely mental how football or general sport is always being used by dictators like Putin. And I can do a whole show on that if you want. Leon Smith, how to find left-leaning club groups. I can tell you some. FC St. Pauli's one that springs to mind. Livorno in Italy. Check out one of their famous players, Lucarelli. Lucarelli, he started a left-wing newspaper in Italy, obviously, after he retired. And he's a great man. Also, Livorno is a very left-leaning city. So, like, it's a big expression of that, like a port city, like around the docks. Other left-leaning clubs off the top of my head, let us think. Rayo Vallecano in Madrid. They're expressive of the Vallecano area of Madrid, which is a very working-class area. Also, as a reaction to the fascism of Madridistas and Real Madrid's Franco's club. So Rayo Vallecano there. So there's a few to be starting with, but plenty, loads. And sometimes, as I say, the fight for supremacy, so it can change over time. Right, what else we've got? Some of the smaller ones, there's like Clapton FC in the UK. You'd say FC United of Manchester because it's a fan-owned club, and was set up as a reaction to the corporatism of the Glazers. So Carlos is saying, I remember those hooligans, they appeared military trained. They're all fully trained in MMA gyms. Leon's saying Putin also did it to fragment the factions, look the Kadyrov. Why? For real. Right. See if there's any more here. Jacqueline's saying it's vile and disgusting, but considering the venue, maybe the racism isn't the point. It could be about recruitment, going to popular venues and trying to recruit like-minded people. That has always happened. And the way it was stopped at Newcastle, the National Front were leafleting for a while outside the ground, and they just got filled in. That was it. Like, that's literally how it got sorted. And I'm sure that's I know that happened in Leeds to an extent as well. But either just got chinned. So if it ever springs up where you are, guidelines of social media, do it peacefully, everybody. Right. Who else? Who else? Zoe, by let so many people find that it's acceptable again. That's the thing. They do. And unless we speak up and talk about it, then, you know, tell you what I'll do. I'm going to save this BBC thing for later in the week, Friday's show, because it's an evergreen thing it can keep. But I just wanted to get your views on it. But we're on 40 minutes now, and don't want it to go on too long. So thank you for being here as ever. As I say, we're so close to being monetized on YouTube. So if you want to watch a few videos, like it'll be well appreciated, because once we can get that done, I can tick that box and we can move on. And obviously we can start generating some funds. However small at first, it all helps. Even if it buys like a bit of shopping or something at first, that'll be sound. So yeah, if you can do that, that would be much appreciated. Also, if you want to support the work, go to patreon.com/cow daily. That's patreon.com/cow daily cows. Also, link in the description for PayPal if you want to make one-off contribution to work. Sincerely hope you all have a good day. In spite of having 4 hours sleep, I'm feeling good at the minute. Things are going in the right direction, and I've got enough distance between me and the latest bout of illness to just feel all right. I mean, I know I'm ill now, but it doesn't feel like anything raj. Couldn't find the COVID test yesterday, so I've just basically stayed in till I could focus when I get, like, find them. Partners away, and it's all falling to bits straight away, isn't it? I just can't look after myself or something. Mad. Love yous. See yous later, but not before I found the end titles. Have a belter of a day, and tomorrow it's a day off as usual. Thursday back with Dr. Deepti Gurdasani, and then Friday one of these. Who's about to say goodbye? Have a lovely day, all. Have a belter. Much love, everybody. All the best. I was just reading Leon's comment about the Dagestanis being juiced by the state. Should probably, I've heard that too. Should probably do like a more MMA focused one in the future now we've mentioned that. But anyway, I need to get off and do some shit. See you later.